Hey, Alan. Hey, Sherry. Hey, Margaret. So we won't be using much stuff today other than you probably want something just like a flat thing that'll give you a little bit of elevation. I'm just using like a couple plates, but are like big books or something would work too. If you're very flexible in your hamstrings, you might not need anything, but I'll give you guys time to figure that out when we get there. But good to start looking around maybe. What's up, Kasha? Hey, Becca. We'll start in another minute. I already told other people, but don't really need much today, except you might end up needing like something like flat to give you a little extra elevation, like some books or something like that. But I'll give you time to get stuff. But if you have some plates too, that would work really well. But if you're super flexible, you might not need anything. If you guys hear any loud noises, Cooper keeps dropping barbells on the other side of the gym.
What are we working on today, Brock?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. It's a good segue because it's our 2-minute delayed start time. So we're going to do all stuff like posterior chain stuff specifically to get better at doing like a forward fold. We'll focus mostly on the hamstrings, but a little bit of glutes, a little bit of calves as well. And then when we're doing the forward fold, it's pretty much the whole posterior chain. So the forward fold, just quick little visual, just so you know what I mean, but literally just how good are you at folding yourself in half. like in gymnastics, you'd call that a pike position. Yoga, I think, just called a forward fold. But basically, how good you are at reaching for your toes. So with that, again, we're going to work a lot of hamstring stuff that holds people up a lot, but it'll end up, we'll do some glute stuff also, just because having your glutes warmed up and moving well help to keep your hamstrings loose. If your glutes are working, that'll help turn your hamstrings off a little bit. First thing we're going to do, though, is just get the relevant muscles warmed up a little bit. So we're going to start with some glute bridges. So just warming up the glutes again, because we're going to get them loose, but we want them kind of turned on so that the hamstrings can kind of turn off. What I want you guys to do for your glute bridges, I know we just did these in another class recently, so should be pretty familiar, but you're going to get your feet as close as you can to your butt. And I want you to give me 10 glute bridges with both legs on the ground, just squeezing that butt, driving the hips to the ceiling. And then after that, I want you to give me 5 glute bridges, single leg on each side. So same thing, just one leg is elevated. Squeeze and hold at the top a little bit. So give me 10 with both legs and then 5 on each leg, single leg. Take your time, big squeeze at the top, hold for just a beat. All right, looks like everybody's about done there. So next thing we're going to do, just to get the hamstrings kind of just moving around, really gentle movement, is we're going to do some floor reaches or toe reaches, depends on how flexible you are. But literally all you're going to do is reach for the floor, nice passive. We're not really trying to stretch yet, just trying to move things around. If it's easy for you to touch the floor, go ahead. If you're like up here, don't like force into that stretch just yet. It's just a nice, easy movement, however far you can go, kind of passively. Just give me like 10 to 15 of those. 10 if you're going real slow, 15 if you're feeling good. Ooh, this is promising. Got some pretty flexible people in this crew. You guys will probably be better at all these movements than me. All right, good. We'll get into the next one. I like to call these turtle herders. I know they have some other names, but this is the most fun name. All I'm going to do these in place. You can do these walking, but do them stationary since you guys are all at home. But you're going to put your heel out in front, toe up, and you're just going to sweep your hands down past your foot, and then you're going to switch to the other side. Just like that, kind of sweeping through that stretch. You should feel this in your calf and your hamstring. Just give me 10 on each side there. Just imagine you're encouraging some tiny turtles to get to the ocean before the birds come. Hurry up, little guys.
That's exactly what I'm doing, and it's bringing me such joy.
You're saving all of them, Margaret.
I can't. You're making me laugh too hard. I'm losing balance.
All right, I think we're about there. We'll get into our next one. This is going to be a little more dynamic. The first kind of stretchy thing, we're just going to do some leg swings. So find something to hold on to if you need to, but we're going to do 10 each direction on each leg. So first we're going to go front to back. So keep a pretty straight leg and keep your toe flexed up so your toe's going towards your shin, and you're just swinging that leg up and back 10 times there. And then we're going to go side to side. When we go across the body, I want you to always be leading with your toe. So when I open up, my toe is pointed where my foot's going, and then I'm going to turn it as I sweep it back across. I want you to give me 10 swings each direction, each leg. And if you're a super balanced pro, you can do it without holding on to anything. That'd be pretty cool. All right, good. Looks like you guys are about done. So we got pretty generally warmed up here with our lower body, posterior chain. So we're gonna start getting into some more stretchy stuff. First thing, we're gonna get some glute stretching in. So we're gonna start with some hip swivels. So you're gonna start seated. Feet are pretty wide in there, like a squat stance or even a little wider. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna drop our knees down to one side, and then we're going to bring them up and over to the other side. When you hit that kind of rotated position, you should be aiming for like a 90-degree bend, or close, in each of those knees, and then bringing them over to that other direction. We're going to go 10 on each, or 10 each direction, but we're going to use this position for a stretch also. So don't like get up and run away after you do those. It's nice and slow, 10 each way. Good, and you should just kind of rotate on your hips. Don't have to go far. Might feel your hip flexors working, holding your legs in place. Alan, start with your feet here. Good, and then drop your knees one side, and then bring them over. There you go. All right, so you guys are pretty much done there. So we're gonna, again, we're gonna use the same position for a stretch now. So we're gonna start, we'll say we're going to the right first. So we're gonna get into this 90-90 position here, and then we're just gonna put some pressure on that knee. That's kind of that lead leg. So if I drop my knees to the right, I'm gonna get over that right knee and put some pressure on that knee. So go ahead and get there. I'm going to time for a minute. And now while we're here, what I want you to do is you're gonna squeeze that right glute. So flex that right glute, and then you're gonna relax. And when you relax, you can kind of lean yourself forward a little more. The more you get kind of over that knee, the more you're gonna get that glute stretch. But again, flexing that glute, squeezing that right glute, and then relax a little farther into that stretch. Just kind of keep repeating that. Got about 30 seconds left here. And if you need a little extra leverage, keep your hand on your knee, keep that knee pinned to the floor.
Brock,
Yep.
I can't feel a thing. My knee's right on the ground. Am I supposed
So
to?
twist your body towards that leg. Good. We're switching over to the other side. So if you're just sitting up like this, you're not gonna get much. You gotta twist over that leg or scoot that foot up a little more. Just another 10 seconds on this side. Good, and relax out of that stretch. I want you, before you get up, I want you to give me 10 more swivels. So just moving through, nice and easy. Maybe feels a little easier now, or your hips are getting tired and they're getting harder. Good. All right, so next one we're gonna do, get into some more hamstring focused stretches. We're gonna floss the hamstring. Also, this is can be pretty helpful for people with like sciatica, sciatic nerve pain, to kind of do this flossing motion we're gonna do can relieve some of that pressure. But the way this is gonna work, you'll be on your back. You're gonna bring your leg up so that you can grab behind your knee. And then I'm gonna extend my leg with my toes flexed towards my shin, so dorsiflexion of the foot. So I'll keep them flexed and I'm gonna extend as far as I can. And then I'm gonna point my toe the other way and bring it back down. Flex the toes up and extend. Point the toes, bring it down. So I want you guys to do that. We're gonna go 15 times on each side. Good, Margaret, get your hands on the back of your leg. There you go. You can kind of use that pressure of your hands to really stretch against. And try taking a big deep breath and then exhaling for that stretch. Once you've done 15 on that side, go ahead, switch to the other leg. Don't fall asleep, Kasha. Laying down and yawning. Good, looks like about done there. So next one we're gonna do, you guys are gonna be pretty familiar with, but we're just gonna stretch the calves a little bit. Real simple calf stretch. We're gonna use our down dog position to floss our calves. So getting into that down dog, mine is definitely not picture perfect, but the goal here is just to stretch the calves. And we're gonna floss them by just pushing that heel to the floor and then relaxing, switching to the other side, just to make sure those calves are nice and loose, because they will impede us a little bit in this forward fold. Just go ahead and give me 10 per side there. Good. And as soon as you're done with that, I want you guys to just come to the floor and then just like push up into a little cobra stretch, just a little rest on our hamstring stretches. Also, we're doing a bunch of stuff on our posterior chain, so make sure you balance it out with a little stretching in the front. We'll just hold here for just like 20 seconds. Good. All right. Next one is going to be almost like a advanced turtle herder here. I'm starting in a nice long lunge, and then I'm going to rock back to a straight leg position. Should stretch through the calves and the hamstrings. When I do this, I want that toe flex back towards my shin again, and then I'm going to relax forward. So you're going to rock back and hold just for a second. Again, this is constant motion. We're flossing. Just give me 10 on that leg. When you get to the 10th one, I want you to hold in that stretch. And on that last hold, you're just going to reach as far forward as you can. This is about all I got. You're going to reach as far forward as you can. You're going to take 3 big deep breaths. Every time you exhale, I want you to reach a little farther forward. And after that 3rd big breath and reach, you can switch over and do the same thing on the other leg. So, yep, good. Working through the same thing on the other side. Yeah, and as soon as you finish that second leg, I just want you to pop into a squat hold. Just hang out and wait for everybody to finish. We'll take another little pit stop here in our squat hold. Just kind of move around a little bit. Give your hamstrings a break. All right, now from this position, we're going to do kind of like a Kang squat. You guys have maybe done those in warm-ups in class on barbell days. But what I'm going to do is I can either hold onto my toes or I can hold the back of my legs if I can't quite reach my toes. But from this position we're in, I'm just going to lift my hips into a good stretch and then pull myself back down to that squat. Just going to do that 10 times. All right, once you're done with that, you can relax. You want to stay in your squat hold. That's all good. If not, just sit down and hang out. We'll talk about this next exercise. This is the one where you might need a little help. I'm not crazy flexible, so I am gonna I can touch my toes, no problem. But this, if you can't like put your hands flat on the floor pretty easily, you're gonna need some amount of assistance here. But all we're gonna do is a forward fold with some extra pressure, help from our body weight. So again, I want to be able to plant my hands flat on the ground, which in the warm up it looked like Sherry might be able to do this without any assistance. The rest of us maybe need a book or so. But I'm gonna get my hands flat on here, and I'm gonna alternate between kind of just passively hanging out here and then spending 5 seconds pressing as hard as I lost my ear, pressing as hard as I can into the plates, really stretching those hamstrings, and then relaxing. 5 seconds, press, 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 pressing into that stretch, kind of pushing my hips back, and then relaxing. If you're doing this right, it should be like you're probably gonna be sweating by the end of it. You're gonna be in that forward fold for like at least a minute. But go ahead, grab like yoga blocks or whatever you need. But then go ahead, set yourself up, and you can do 10 reps where you're gonna press, find that stretch, hold for a 5 count, and then relax. A nice long 5-second hold. If you're trying to push your hands through the floor. And once you've done 10 of those, just relax.
So I feel this like in the back of my lungs.
In the back of your lungs.
Yeah, so when I expand, right, to breathe, right here, it's like someone's trying to stab me from the inside out.
Violent.
Doesn't feel
Probably
good.
just because you're like have so much pressure in your back and your lungs are trying to expand against it. It's just like lots of extra pressure in there. Yeah, wherever you're tightest in that like posterior chain is going to show up the most. Cool. Ooh, looks like we got a couple minutes. I can show you the last thing, and you guys are all decently flexible, so this will be good. This last movement, definitely wouldn't want to do it if you like have any forward fold mobility issues. Like if you're one of those people that can barely like touch your shins when you do your forward fold, this is not the movement for you, but it's called a Jefferson curl. I'm gonna give myself some more height here. If you have like a light dumbbell or kettlebell, why don't you go ahead and grab it real quick. And then I'll show you the exercise. You will need a little elevation, so like a stair step or something like that. So if you need to like do this off camera after we conclude class, you can. All right, cool. I'm gonna just demo it quick. Again, if you don't have any like, if you don't have like a step or anything close by, you can just do it right after we're done. Just do a couple sets if you want. Okay, so Jefferson curl is like a deficit deadlift. And the form for this is gonna be like the deadlift we tell everyone never to do, because we're gonna round our back when we deadlift. But again, you guys are all pretty flexible, so provided you use a very light weight for this, this is just a good kind of deep stretch you're gonna do. I'm gonna start with my weight, standing on the edge of my step or whatever I've got, and then I'm gonna roll myself forward. Let me get my camera angle a little better. So starting from the top, I'm gonna start with my head, tuck my chin, and I'm gonna roll my back down and keep going. And this is where that deficit comes in, because I'm going past my feet with that weight, and then I'm gonna roll myself back to the top. So it's very slow, controlled movement. And again, if I saw you deadlifting a barbell like this, I would just kick you out of class, I think. But we're doing it on purpose, nice controlled stretching movement. But I'm just gonna have you guys do a quick set of 10. This just gives you a little deeper stretch than you can get with your own body weight. And if you're super flexible, even like what you're standing on now might not be enough if you're finding the floor with that weight. All right, looks like everybody's done there. So that's the last exercise I had for you guys in our little forward fold sequence. But all this stuff, great ways to warm up posterior chain. Just like days we're doing deadlifts, clean, snatches, whatever, we're pulling weight off the floor. Definitely recommend hitting some of these exercises. But that's all I got for you guys. Ooh, Alan, I found a way to your request to see what the nutrition and mobility classes were.
Oh, great.
If you just hover over the link, it'll give you a little text box that tells you what it is.
Wow, thank you. That's wonderful. So therefore, if we have deadlifts, we can go find it.
Yeah, you can go find your hamstring mobility routine.
Yeah. Thank you. This is great.
All right. Cool.
Wonderful.
All right. I'll see you guys next time.
Have a good day.
Yep, bye.